Zack Snyder.
Certain executives really wanted to copy and mirror Marvel.
I believe this is one of the strange. Truly, I believe this is one of the strangest stories that I've covered in my 20+ years of being on the film beat.
I thought that Warner wasn't telling us the truth with Zack Snyder.
Certain executives really wanted to copy and mirror Marvel. They had an idea of what the product should look like, and they wanted, I think, to pick up the Marvel audience.
Good. It's time then.
And then what we ended up getting was trying to please everyone and then satisfying really no one.
Holy God.
It was a bit of a mess, let's say.
You overestimate yourself.
Like, just watch the fans go back and compare trailers, behind-the-scenes clips, making of things.
I kind of thought, well, I'm sure there's a cut of Justice League here that we haven't seen of Zack Snyder. So I just said, #release the Snyder Cut, and then it just kind of blew up after that.
And then, of course, you know, over the past few months, to see the wild events that the Snyder Cut Army has put together, either at San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, flying a plane over Burbank, like just to get their voices out there.
What happened today is history.
To me, release the Snyder Cut is comprised of tragedy, hope, but ultimately redemption.
Yeah, we did!
I never thought that anything like this was possible. I've never seen a movement like this before.
So many people said we wouldn't do it. So many people said it didn't exist. So many people said that it was a pipe dream.
In the future, the companies will think twice before destroying the hard work of a director.
We could really go back to sort of the source material for the mythology, you know, for the base mythology. And that way we were able to make a movie that was fresh for us, and then hopefully becomes fresh for the audience.
Will there be any news on a sequel or Justice League film anytime soon, or?
We're just waiting to see this come out and see how we do. I love the world, so we'll see.
That challenge, death and resurrection are the same thing. The reason why I wanted to do it the way we did it was because I don't want the audience completely off the hook. They still have to like go, what the f-? Release the Snyder Cut, the most hashtag Warner Brothers movie ever made.
That's fear. You're not brave. Men are brave. What must a king do to save his world when the very laws he is sworn to protect force him to do nothing?
What should a free man do? I would destroy the movie. I would set it on fire. I literally would blow that fucking thing up.
There would be no glory or sacrifice. And every scribe shall have their eyes put out and their tongues cut for their mouths. Like this thundering, the very name will be punishable by death.
There's this rumor going around that it's not actually called Zack Snyder's Justice League. Can you comment on that?
The name of the movie, the name we all want, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
You don't think you're strong enough? You are. You have all power until it. Now fight.
I was 20.
We could really go back to sort of
Truly, I believe this is one of the strangest stories that I've covered in my 20+ years of being on the film beat.
I thought that Warner wasn't telling us the truth with Zack Snyder.
Certain executives really wanted to copy and mirror Marvel. They had an idea of what the product should look like, and they wanted, I think, to pick up the Marvel audience.
Good. It's time then.
And then what we ended up getting was trying to please everyone and then satisfying really no one.
Holy God.
It was a bit of a mess, let's say.
You overestimate yourself.
Like, just watch the fans go back and compare trailers, behind-the-scenes clips, making of things.
I kind of thought, well, I'm sure there's a cut of Justice League here that we haven't seen of Zack Snyder. So I just said, hashtag release the Snyder Cut, and then it just kind of blew up after that.
And then, of course, you know, over the past few months, to see the wild events that the Snyder Cut Army has put together, either at San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, flying a plane over Burbank, like just to get their voices out there.
What's happening today is history.
To me, release the Snyder Cut is comprised of tragedy, hope, but ultimately redemption.
Yeah, we did it!
I never thought that anything like this was possible. I've never seen a movement like this before.
So many people said we wouldn't do it. So many people said it didn't exist. So many people said that it was a pipe dream.
In the future, the companies will think twice before destroying the hard work of a director.
I believe in truth. But I'm also a big fan of justice.
Everyone was pretty hyped for that movie, especially after BBS. And then I kept seeing like articles online like that he was fired and that Warner Brothers didn't like his movie, and seeing that maybe that was an excuse used to get him out, which was really upsetting to me and sad.
Zack did leave the project. Obviously, Warner Brothers decided that this was time to make a reactionary move due to the less than stellar critical reception of Batman v Superman and Man of Steel.
Because Marvel was doing so well, and they were doing well. Like, they have it off to a T, the formula and an audience. So I think they were self-conscious of getting that Marvel money more than anything, and that was led to kind of changes and people trying to do their own thing and wanted their own stamp on it, really.
They were conspiring behind the scenes to replace Zack or get him to compromise and change, and I think that's why some things happened. And as soon as the awful tragedy occurred, and Zack walked away, they were ready to jump straight in and make it their own version of what they thought was the money-making train. But obviously, history shows that it wasn't.
Virtually all of it was cut. And then Fabian Wagner, the cinematographer, comes out and says he saw theatrical cut, and he estimates somewhere between 10 to 15% of what they shot made it into theatrical.
Only 1 hour of Zack Snyder was in 121 minutes of the Joss Whedon movie. Only 1 hour. And if you think that the Snyder Cut has 240 minutes, you can realize how much movie we didn't see.
What's on your weird mind?
It might be a 4-hour cut of a movie. It might be a 6-part, episodic chapter breakup. I like the mystery of that. I don't know what it's going to be. Zack apparently wants to go back and refilm some stuff.
I just remember going and seeing the movie and thinking like, this doesn't seem right. It feels like it's a movie made by two different people.
Honestly, even though he gets a lot of hate, I think that Whedon did try to do his best. I think that as a director, he didn't come there and say, yeah, I will ruin this guy's movie. To me, he was just put in a very rough situation and did the best he could.
At some point, there's going to be like really intense scenes, like Wonder Woman cutting Steppenwolf's head off. I just feel like Warner Brothers wasn't feeling that, and they just went for another route. But now with the Joker being so dark, people love that.
He changed the tone of the movie. Too much comedy. All the arc of characters like Cyborg were taken out. Cyborg was in the heart of the movie.
The difference between Justice League theatrical cut and Zack Snyder's Justice League is literally day and night. Characters were not there at all, like Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Darkseid are all be making appearances.
Sam Benjamin, he's in the film too, and he was never in the Justice League cut, the Justice League of Joss Whedon that made. So he said he was in 25 minutes to 30 minutes of scenes.
My personal opinion, I'm most hyped for Martian Manhunter. He was my favorite leaguer. I was one of those guys that when they watch Man of Steel was like, but that guy, maybe he has the voice, the character, the attitude, so maybe.
The characters that I really want to see in Zack Snyder's version, as opposed to what we saw in theatrical, is Flash. I think Flash got completely shortchanged in the theatrical cut. But there's a scene where Flash, before they're about to confront Steppenwolf for the first time, where Flash turns to Batman and says,
"Full transparency, I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away."
and when people asked Zack directly about that, Zack was like, what the f-? Like, that's not a scene. What are you talking about? And it's weird that they, in an effort to make Flash comedic relief, that they took away his heroism.
Dostoevsky.
I really want to see Wonder Woman being who she really is. From the old Justice League, I didn't really get that. There's some scenes that I found comfortable with. And so this one is like my Wonder Woman, the one that everybody wants to see, the strong, powerful girl.
You're an inspiration, Diana. You don't just save people. You make them see their better selves.
I mean, you're going to see a redemption. You're going to see Black Suit Superman in all his glory when Superman returns. You're going to see Ben Affleck's Batman being that grizzled, kind of badass Batman that we saw in BVS, instead of more of that campy thing style we saw in the theatrical cut.
I knew you didn't bring me back because you like me.
I don't. Not.
And then same with everyone else. Ray Fisher, he's getting his redemption as Cyborg in this one. I mean, his whole story was butchered. Zack Snyder called him the heart of the movie. So if you're a Cyborg fan, this is going to be a crazy thing for you.
It's not just a director's cut. It's not even an ultimate edition.
Test.
It's quite literally a different movie. I think
Kan du høre mig, Lars, eller hvad?
only roughly half an hour of what you saw in the theatrical cut is actually in the Snyder cut. Because they reshot almost the whole film.
Så er det bare lige skrive i chatten, hvis der...
It is a different movie.
Der skulle vist være lyd på.
It's just to highlight that.
It's been more than just a film. People say that the Snyder Cut movement is toxic, that we're negative, negative towards people that say it doesn't exist, but they never kind of highlight the good stuff that the movement has done in terms of charity.
The charitable aspect of the release is honestly one of the things that caught my eye and made me most interested in telling their story.
Pretty early on, after Justice League came out, the need to give back was apparent from the Snyder Cut fandom. We were all feeling for Zack Snyder. And I think the first time that it ever happened was around the time Justice League Blu-ray was coming out. And the fans decided that instead of purchasing the Blu-ray, they're going to be donating the cost of that Blu-ray to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
During the shoot of the Justice League movie, Zack Snyder's daughter, Alden, Snyder, passed away, and it was a tragic, event. These people in the movement, they really wanted to just not support Zack's movie, but they wanted to create campaigns to help, donate, to make donations for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention.
We always had a tradition, should we say, of that whatever we had to raise for an event, we had to match that as a donation to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention in honor of Autumn Snyder to show our level of support.
I first realized that these guys were going above and beyond at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 when they took over bus stops and billboards around town where they released the Snyder Cut. I was like, oh, these guys are really taking this way more seriously than I thought. I thought it was just a Twitter thing with the hashtag. A couple months after that Comic-Con, they took over New York Comic-Con and they bought a Times Square billboard. And that's when I was like really sitting up and paying attention to super invested.
The billboard in Times Square was something shocking to see something like that in New York, in one of the most iconic places in the world, was breathtaking. All the people that did it deserve a credit. All the release was not.
we could really go back to sort of the source material for the mythology, for the base mythology, and that way we were able to make a movie that was fresh for us, and then hopefully become fresh for the audience.
Det er en fan-made trailer, der.
Will there be any news on a sequel or Justice League film
En, der
anytime soon?
hedder
Or-
John Aaron Garza.
See how we do. I love the world, so we'll see.
That challenge, death and resurrection are the same thing. The reason why I wanted to do it the way we did it was because I don't want the audience completely off the hook. They still have to go, what the
Release the Snyder Cut, the most hashtag Warner Brothers movie ever made.
That's fear.
Ej, det er ret smukt med også det der med, at han blander de forskellige film sammen.
What must the king do to save his world when the very laws he is sworn to protect force him to do nothing?
What should a free man do? I would destroy the movie. I would set it on fire. I literally would blow that fucking thing up.
There would be no glory in your sacrifice.
Den der gør, den er filmet på en iPhone. Den ene film der jo. Han kraftigt med filmet på en iPhone, mand. Så er man altså dygtig.
There's this rumor going around that it's not actually called Zack Snyder's Justice League. Can you comment on that?
The name of the movie, the name we all want, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
You don't think you're strong enough? You are. You have all the power until you need. Now fight.
Den der, den er rigtig fed. Den kan jeg godt lide.
Fijaros que toma. Preciosa. Como él toca la naturaleza. Como vuelve a ser el hijo de Martha Kent. Zack Snyder es un puto genio. ¿Cómo lo vamos a echar de menos a Zack Snyder? Han ido añadiendo a lo rodado por Zack Snyder planos insertos cual Frankenstein. Lo que no se puede hacer es alterar así la película. Madre mía, madre mía. Esto es una marvelización de DC, pero a todas luces.
Der er tekster på, engelsk tekster på.
Si nos callamos todos, ¿en qué va a quedar el trabajo de un director? Una película como La Liga de la Justicia no se merece esto. A mí no me vale una extendida, yo no quiero una extendida. Tiene que ser que Zack Snyder diga, esta es mi versión. Que Warner Bros. Nos dé la película que teníamos que haber visto. La película que nos han impedido ver. Esta batalla no va a finalizar, no va a finalizar, no nos vamos a rendir. Solo me vale una versión con Zack Snyder y Yankee Extra. Venga, con dos cojones, chicos, con dos cojones, amantes de Batman y Superman. Venga, vamos. ¡Adelante! Hostia. Snyder, hostia. Snyder. El corte de Zack Snyder de la Liga de la Justicia, tarde o temprano va a salir.
I'll take that as a yes.
Den er også god, for jeg tror nok, at det skal man selvfølgelig. Ja, det er jo mig, der gjorde det. Jeg kan vælge at vise kommentarerne, også hvor længe de skal være på skærmen og sådan noget. Og man kan også, hvis folk de laver noget lort i chatten, eller spammer eller et eller andet, så kan man give dem en timeout. Ja, men jeg ved ikke, om det er fordi min computer ikke kan klare det eller et eller andet, men jeg synes bare, når jeg begyndte at spille videoer, så begynder den at buffe helt vildt. Det kunne prøve at se her, jeg ved ikke, om du kan se det, den står bare og kører rundt. Det gør den ikke lige i starten. Jeg tror, det er et eller andet med, det kræver ret meget stream. Åbenbart. Det skal jeg prøve at finde ud af inden i morgen. Fordi det er noget med, det virker ikke, så jeg deler hele min skærm. Altså jeg deler bare de der Chrome, de der tabs. Du kan også se, du kan ikke se min start og alt det der. Det vil du kunne, hvis jeg deler skærmen. Ja, ikke også? Ja. Det er mærkeligt, den begynder på det, fordi jeg har også prøvet at sætte den til auto. Det hjælper heller ikke, og jeg har testet med internet og alt det der, det kører fint. Okay, det er ligesom om, der er et eller andet med det der video, halløj, der går lort i. Jeg har også prøvet at bytte rundt på, fordi jeg kører faktisk med 2 skærme. Jeg har prøvet at bytte rundt på, altså sådan at StreamYard er på den anden skærm, og så YouTube på den anden. Altså skal jeg lige prøve at teste, jeg prøver lige at teste det med Firefox i stedet for. Nu virker det da. What the fuck? Vent lidt. Jeg tror det duer nu. Prøv lige igen. Eller hvad? Lige fuld screen. Ja, jeg tror det virker nu. Ja. Det lyder meget godt med klaveret der. Det er nok det eneste, der er gode, der kom ud fra Justice League. Det var det nummer der fra starten. Den er ret vild med. Justice League. Ja, det er ret nice. Jeg ved ikke lige, hvor han har fundet det henne. Det er ham der, spanjoleren der. Han har sådan en ret fed YouTube-kanal. Han er virkelig kæmpe nørd. Så bare lidt ærgerligt, man kan ikke altid forstå, hvad han siger jo. Han snakker kun engelsk ret sjældent. Jeg har en anden en. Jeg skal finde ud af, hvordan... jeg ved ikke, om man kan... Jeg prøver lige at teste noget. Øjeblik. Om jeg kan styre min kø eller sådan noget fra en anden. Eller hvis jeg åbner en YouTube mere, kan man det? Eller er det derfor den ikke kan? Jeg kan lige prøve. Nej, det kan man nok ikke. Han har også lavet, skal jeg lige prøve at finde noget. Den der er faktisk også sjov med, hvor han reagerer på, hvor Henry Cavill bygger den der PC. Den er ret grineren. Ej, jeg tror ikke, man kan styre sin kø i en anden tab, det var det jeg lige fiske lidt efter. Det er også, det er ret flot lavet. Vent lidt. Det er lavet af en fan.
No protectors here. No lanterns.
Mega fed musik.
No Kryptonian. This world will fall. Like all the others.
Oh, wow.
No protectors here.
Se der. Ej. Virker vist. Og det er da. Nej, det er ikke lige den. What the fuck? Er den måske... Nå, så springer den videre til den næste. Ja. Den er jo bare blevet blokket. Jo, tak. Jeg skal bare have nogle flere til at kigge, men jeg tror, jeg tror, nogle af mine brødre, de kan tune ind i morgen. Jeg leder lige efter en, han har lavet ham spanjoleren der. Den er også sjov. Jeg kan godt prøve at sætte den her på. Den griner den.
Do you feel in competition with the Marvel films?
You know, I personally don't. I think, the studio may feel that way a little bit because they're business people, and I get that.
Men du kan se, det kører ikke ret godt. Jeg skal finde ud af det der buffer halløj der. Og nu har jeg også en anden en. Hvorfor den gør det? Det er noget mærkeligt noget. Jeg kan prøve at sætte den til auto. Ellers. Prøv at sætte den til auto. Nå, er det rigtigt? Det skulle jeg. Jeg prøver lige Firefox, ja. Det er bare det der, det er fordi, jeg kan kun få det til at virke med lyden med, hvad hedder det, med Chrome. Men jeg prøver lige igen. Det kan vi heldige med Firefox. Ellers så er der også Edge. Det kan vi også prøve at give en chance. Jeg skal se en gang. Jeg prøver lige Firefox først. Skal vi lige på YouTube. Han har lige lavet sådan en testing. Ja, den hedder teststream. Ja, okay. Vi tager bare lige den der igen. Den kører i hvert fald fint, kan jeg se. I den anden. Så er det bare, at jeg kan trække den over. Jeg skal lige prøve at dele skærmen og alt der. Se, den detekter ikke... Prøv lige Edge, fordi jeg får ikke den der lydmulighed med Firefox. Den der, nej, jeg får ikke, prøver lige, Chrome. Du har ikke, hvad hedder det, eller jeg prøver at starte den, der er ikke lyd på nu, vel? Der er sikkert billedet, men der er billedet, ikke også? Og det burde der være. Der er bare ikke lyd, tror jeg. For dem, der ser det. Ja, der er ikke videolyd. Nej. Okay. Jeg skal lige... Det er mærkeligt, at mine kommentarer... Nå, jamen det er fordi, hvis jeg ser... hvis jeg ser min egen stream i YouTube for eksempel, så går det meget hurtigere. Jeg tror, der går lidt tid, inden de kommer ind i StreamYard. Det er sådan et panel, jeg har, hvor jeg styrer det hele inde på sådan en side. Men jeg kan se, om de kommer fra YouTube eller Twitch. Det er ret smart. Men jeg skal sådan selv have det åbent et andet sted, for at kunne se dem sådan lidt hurtigere. Det prøver jeg lige igen i Chrome, så virker det sikkert. Det er bare weird, at det begynder at lagge så meget. Det forstår jeg sgu ikke helt. Det er noget shit. Jeg vide om... Se, nu er der lyd på. Sådan der. 100. Så prøver jeg lige at køre den der igen. Det er faktisk en meget catchy sang, den der. Bum, 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 bum. Jamen, jeg tror, når i morgen, så må jeg bare lige have det kørende så på min telefon eller et eller andet. Så kan jeg bedre følge med i chatten. Og John Campia, han streamer også nu med 2000. Ja, det ser ret fedt ud, ikke? Jamen, det er der en eller anden fan, der har lavet. Jeg kan godt lige prøve at... og hvordan, jeg ved ikke, om jeg kan vise det helt. Det tror jeg ikke, jo, det kan jeg.
Do you feel in competition with the Marvel films?
You know, I personally don't. I think, the studios may feel that way a little bit because they're business people, and I get that.
How do you marry your vision for the movie while still honoring the expectation of your audience?
Because you can't really make a movie for someone else. You can't go like, I think people would like this. There's a good chance that that's a huge disaster.
What's up with the reshoots? They've been brief, if anything. I mean, Josh is a great guy. Zach picked a good person to come up and finish up for him.
Sjovt det der.
Guys, get out there, see it. I think you're really going to like it. A lot.
How many scenes did you shoot with the mustache?
I can't really talk about that.
Okay.
For fear of.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
And obviously, Zack Snyder, our director.
Danny Elfman's orchestration was one of the best parts of Justice League, with clever nods to the score from Batman '89.
Zack's film, he shot everything that he wanted to shoot. I mean, it's not a matter of whether or not it exists. It's a matter of whether or not we see it.
Det er så grineren det her. Det er Zack Snyder, der ser
Everyone, this is Zack Snyder,
Justice League.
director of this movie. I'm going to talk a little bit about it.
Corporate logo. We're screwed. Hey. No.
Altså fucker den igen, det er jo vildt. Men altså man kan så sige, at det der i morgen, det er jo ikke YouTube, så det bliver spændende, hvordan det kører. Det der Fandome der. Det kører jo bare i en browser. Ja. Jeg skal lige prøve at jeg sætter lige der musik på så. Mens jeg lige googler lidt. Det skal nok komme til at virke. Jeg har ret godt internet. Og ikke en helt dårlig computer, så jeg kan forstå, hvis den ikke... Jamen, det er jo Fandome. Jeg tror ikke, det kommer på YouTube. Det kommer på den der dcfandome.com. Så jeg ved ikke lige, hvad det er for noget teknologi, de kører med. Men jo, selvfølgelig så, altså, jeg skal gøre det igennem Chrome, men det er bare ikke på YouTube. Det kan være, jeg tror mange af trailerne bliver lagt på YouTube, men selve streamen, den er på det der Fandome der. Kan jeg vide, hvis jeg skal...
Do you feel in competition with the amount of films?
Det bliver bare, altså det bliver på den her, altså på YouTube jo. Altså jeg streamer, min stream der på YouTube.
No.
No.
Are you serious? I'm trying to understand what's the benefit of Superman. Try and make the movie weird. The camera's constantly vibrating. I mean, it's insane. He is frightening. Okay. Let's try it one more time. Let's take another look at it. Okay, you can't do that because you can't. He's really not interested in filmmaker movies. He's interested in movies by committee. Chris, he was awesome, and it was super fun to work with him. It's pretty stupid. Well, huge disaster. Are you serious? How are you going to make that happen?
Ja, det er godt, det der.
This shit. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You just fucking make your movie. No. Sorry. So I haven't seen the movie yet, so I keep forgetting. That's not really the canon over time. You'll see that it effed with my way of doing it. What the are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I will hurt you. I'm fucking fantastic. This fucking movie. Someone get this guy out of here. You can only make a movie hoping that it works out and that it's okay and that everyone, kind of likes it. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing.
Steve Trevor tell you that?
Okay. No.
We are not enough.
Clearly.
Do you feel a sense of confidence that you're not doing something horribly wrong and macabre?
What the fuck? Wake the fuck up. No. Whatever that is. I'm fed up with the fucking score. He's gonna fuck you over. But they didn't do this. That's awesome, isn't it? You can't touch that. No. Wow. No, by no means did we mean this. That's all I have to say about that.
That's crazy.
Man, I'm not doing this on purpose. Right.
I'm bored.
So no, you can't do this forever.
Barely do it now.
Literally. No. I don't even know what it means. Why?
Jeg tror måske, jeg har fundet ud af noget.
Why? I guess. Oh! The studio, do as much fucking atrocities as you can. You're just gonna do it. There's no way to stop you.
Do it. Do it.
They're friends.
Jeg tror, jeg har fundet en løsning. Det er fordi, at jeg har 2 skærme, ikke? Og hvis jeg selv sidder og så har den fremme, det siger jo lidt sig selv faktisk. Hvis jeg har YouTube-videoen fremme på den ene skærm, og så samtidig med, at den også er over på det der StreamYard, som jeg også stadig følger med, så bliver den faktisk vist dobbelt jo, kan man sige. Altså det vil sige, min computer, den skal vise den 2 gange. Så hvis jeg så minimerer det vindue der, hvor den er i fuldskærm, så tror jeg faktisk, det kører fint. Jeg prøver at lave en test. Så skal det være en video, der varer lidt mere end nogle minutter, tror jeg. Den her den er jeg i hvert fald bøvlet med tidligere. Jeg kan lige prøve en gang, om den virker. Prøv lige. Jo, jeg tror det virker. Det ser det ud til. Jeg skal bare minimere vinduet. Det kan være, at min bror han er... jo tak. Det kan være, at jeg ved ikke, om min bror han er klar på noget senere måske. Jeg skal også lige have noget aftensmad og noget. Men ellers kunne det godt være, at jeg kunne streame senere i aften måske. Og det virker lige snart, jeg minimerer, så jeg har fundet løsningen. Og jeg var ved at lave et logo jo for Fandale, det er ikke glemt. Øjeblik. Jeg skal lige prøve at finde det. Man kan have sådan en logo op i hjørnet nemlig. Du kan se, det er det fra StreamYard. Men man kan så bare... Det er fordi, jeg har betalt lidt penge for det. Jeg har bare købt en måned til at starte med. Så har man alle de der funktioner der, så behøver man ikke have det der stående. Hvis det var gratis, så skulle man have det der og det her stående også. Det kan man bare fjerne, når man har betalt penge for det, og så erstatte det med sit eget branding. Det er mega smart. Jeg ved ikke, om den bare kører den næste. Jeg har sådan en liste her, jo. Jeg har faktisk sådan et mash op, altså hvor det bliver blandet sammen. Det er ikke helt tosset heller. Kan jeg lige prøve at finde det. Hvor det sådan er begge dele. Ja, det er nice det der med begge dele. Jeg scroller en lille smule ned her. Ups. Woo! Er det mega godt, det der? Ui.
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes.
On August 22nd comes an unprecedented global fan event.
Hello, everybody. It's all DC all the time. DC Fandome is unlike anything you've ever seen before. I'm actually standing inside a stage that Jim Lee himself drew. How incredibly cool is that?
That's crazy, right?
This worldwide mega event is for DC fans across the globe.
Ça va, DC Fandome?
Hola, mi gente.
Guten Tag, meine Freunde.
We've got exclusive footage, insider info, the latest DC news, and huge announcements.
You know what I'm talking about.
There was no way that I could come here and not bring a look at the movie.
Yes, yes. There's so much cool content to look at.
That was a really special episode.
Designed just for you, the absolute DC fan. That's amazing! Whoop, whoop.
There's something that I can show you.
Exclusive content!
Stuff that seems impossible ends up becoming possible.
I am beyond excited to be sharing this moment with you guys.
Awesome.
Hang on tight, because we are about to whisk you around the DC Fandome. You guys ready? Let's get this thing started.
DC Fandome, Hall of Heroes. All fans welcome. 24 hours only. August 22nd. And there's only one place you can experience it, at dcfandome.com.
Whoop. Jeg gør lige noget her med Twitter, hvis jeg kan finde ud af det. Ja, okay. Ja, men velbekomme, mand. Det bliver hyggeligt i morgen. Jeg håber virkelig, at jeg også jeg kan have min bror med. Jeg skal bare lige finde ud af, at jeg laver min... den der. Yep, jeg skal lige styre på noget Twitter. Sådan. Så skal det er nok rimelig småt, er det ikke det? Det tror jeg. Kom, lige skal zoome lidt. Er det ikke bedre sådan der? Jo. Ja, der kom jo en teaser. Wow. Er det ikke nyt det der? Der kom der en teaser. Der kom en anden Snyder Cut teaser. Yep. Kom tidligere i dag. Se lige om det duer. Godt nok, ikke? Har du lyd på nu, eller hvad? Har du sikkert ikke. Kan du høre trailerlyden? Nej. Ja, så kan man ikke... Jo, så skal man vel bare... Jeg tror, jeg har en idé. Hvis jeg nu... Tryl. Sådan der. Hvorfor hulen er det her på... Okay. Language. Danish. Sådan der. Det der. Sådan. Så skal man bare lige... Så. Tror jeg, det duer nu. Ej. Oh boy. Den er sgu da meget sjov, den der. Jesus. Med Christian Bale. Det er fra American Psycho, hvor han laver det fjæs der. Pretty funny. Jeg prøver lige at se, om jeg ikke kan få fat i min bror. Den der... Jeg kan lige finde et eller andet at sætte på, imens jeg får noget mad. Han har faktisk lavet en god en, ham der. Ham spanioleren der. Og den er vist også god. Jeg kan godt lige prøve at smide på.
So what are you, man or Superman?
Superman was never real.
If you love these people so much, you can mourn for them. Don't do this! Stop! Never.
All this time, I've been living my life the way my father saw it. Righting wrongs for a ghost. Thinking I'm here to do good.
All those things I can do. All those powers. And I couldn't even save him. I've always tried to forget I was an alien. I've always tried to pretend I was human. But I was wrong.
This means something.
You did on my world. My world doesn't exist anymore.
What are we talking about here then? Must there be a Superman?
My father believed that if the world found out who I really was,
The world doesn't need a savior,
they'd reject me.
and neither do I.
He was convinced that the world was not ready.
All right, Dad. I really wish you could hear me. Because I need you.
He is not our enemy.
Jesus Alfred counted dead. I failed.
Thousands of people.
You died because of me.
I'm guilty.
I failed you.
What's wrong with me, Mom?
Failed myself.
What's next?
And
Billions.
all humanity.
You can save a cow. You were born to be the chosen one. You can save all of them. You're simply better than us.
Look at this. I bet your parents taught you that you mean something.
There's one thing I do know, son, and that is
You're here for a reason.
Ever since I arrived, all I brought is death and suffering.
You hold the future of the entire planet in your hands.
He has the power to wipe out the entire human race.
I'm here to take it back.
You're asking yourself,
Now we have to destroy it.
didn't your dad ever teach you to look before you leap?
You're not brave.
My faith in you blinded you to the truth.
Man, you're brave.
You're disbanding the Justice League.
the world isn't ready to accept someone like me.
This is the end.
You will never be God.
You will never
The Earth's savior.
You will never be. Get out of here. Now.
And we know better now, don't we?
Go, Lois.
The devils don't come from hell beneath us, no.
Did the nightmares ever stop?
No, they come from the sky.
Yeah.
Remember, son.
When I met your mother. Right now. I'm doing this for the world.
I love you, Clark.
I have to protect the human race.
I'll always be in your heart.
This is my life. You have no right to control it.
It's my birthright!
I'm not gonna let you die.
Well then. I guess I'll have to kill you.
You'll never threaten the world again. Kal-El.
Now fly.
He saved us.
Good. That's all that matters. I failed him.
I've got some things to say. I should have said them when you were here, but despite our differences, I have nothing but respect for you. I hope you know that. You showed me that justice doesn't always have to come from the darkness.
Dad? Chores, Clark. Work keeps a man honest. Gotta protect the things you worked hard to build.
Missed you.
I never stopped watching out for you, Clark.
Then you must be disappointed. I haven't grown into the man you raised me to be.
No, you haven't. You are so much more than that.
His strength
doesn't matter how strong you are or what abilities you might
He's more human than I am. He lived in this world. Fell in love, got a job. Despite all that power.
You've sacrificed more than anybody.
You were the miracle we prayed for.
And I'm so proud of you, Clark.
The world needs Superman. You're the answer, son. The team needs Clark.
You can't stay here, son. You've got to keep your mother safe. You've got to keep the whole world safe.
No, Dad. Clark, not without you. Dad, I need you. I cannot do this without you.
Yes, you can.
I think that's your destiny, Clark.
This is your destiny, son.
To help people.
You are going to touch the lives of so many people.
To save them from fear and darkness.
Not just as a man, but as a symbol. You're a symbol of peace. You're a symbol of justice.
Whatever trials I put you through,
For this reason above all,
I will never lose faith in you.
thank you. They inspire hope.
For what?
They inspire people because they are the best of us.
I'm believing in me.
The world needs the Justice League, and the Justice League needs you, Superman.
And when you show yourself to the world,
I'll hunt you. You'll hunt me.
it will be a different age than ours, Clark.
You condemn me.
A silver age of heroism.
Set the dogs on me. I have sent them you.
That will start when they look up into the sky at you with hope for tomorrow.
My only son.
Always hold on to small.
You will help everyone to embrace it.
You may not see me as a hero, but the rest of the world does. And I decide my fate.
Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough. Sometimes people deserve more.
You could have had everything you ever wanted.
Sometimes people deserve to have their faith rewarded.
I already do.
They will join you in the sun, Cal. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
This young man's a man of steel. Look at him.
I miss you, son.
Bye-bye.
I miss you too, Dad.
You will travel far, my little Kalel. But we will never leave you, even in the face of our death.
He always believed you were meant for greater things.
You will make my strength your own.
He said to hold on to Smallville.
See my life through your eyes.
I will. I won't ever forget.
And that when the day came, your shoulders would be able to bear the weight.
She'll be with me no matter where I go.
That your life will be seen through mine.
Yeah. I wish you could have been here to see it finally happen.
The son becomes the father, father the son.
He saw it, Clark, believe me.
Son, it's time.
Ladies and gentlemen, for many years now, I've lived among you as a visitor. As of today, I'm not a visitor anymore, because the Earth is my home too. We're still a young planet. There are galaxies out there, other civilizations for us to meet, to learn from. What a brilliant future we could have.
Dreams save us. Dreams lift us up and transform us into something better. And on my soul, I swear that until my dream of a world where dignity, honor, and justice are the reality we all share,
excuse me,
I'll never stop fighting. Ever.
You really think you can beat me?
I'm not trying to beat you.
General, would you care to step outside?
For what it's worth, I don't think you could have taken Batman either.
Superman, my God. I mean, get him!
Will I see you around?
Always around.
Look at the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Who are you?
A friend.
This country is safe against Superman.
Wow.
Thanks to you.
Så Justice League animated musik.
We're all part of the same team.
impossible to put together.
It's just fans. Why can't fans be smarter?
Guess what, motherfucker?
Life was gonna be this way.
3, 4. Baby.
Lige et øjeblik. Jeg skal lige... Jamen, jeg tror bare, jeg sætter den der på igen, mens jeg lige får noget at spise. Den er ret god, den der fansen har lavet. Det var 20 minutter. Den der The Road to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Jeg kunne også spille, men det... Nej, det kan man nok ikke. Altså, jeg risikerer at blive copyright strike og alt muligt, tror jeg.
Truly, I believe this is one of the strangest stories that I've covered in my 20 plus years of being on the film beat.
I thought that Warner wasn't telling us the truth with Zack Snyder.
Certain executives really wanted to copy and mirror Marvel. They had an idea of what the product should look like, and they wanted, I think, to pick up the Marvel audience.
Good. It's time then.
And then what we ended up getting was trying to please everyone and then satisfying really no one.
Holy God.
It was a bit of a mess, let's say.
You overestimate yourself.
Like, just watch the fans go back and compare trailers, behind the scenes clips, making of things.
I kind of thought, well, I'm sure there's a cut of Justice League here that we haven't seen of Zack Snyder. So I just said, #release the Snyder Cut, and then it just kind of blew up after that.
And then, of course, you know, over the past few months, to see the wild events that the Snyder Cut Army has put together, either at San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, flying a plane over Burbank, like just to get their voices out there.
What happened today is history.
To me, Release the Snyder Cut is comprised of tragedy, hope, but ultimately redemption.
Yeah, we did!
I never thought that anything like this was possible. I've never seen a movement like this before.
So many people said we wouldn't do it. So many people said it didn't exist. So many people said that it was a pipe dream.
In the future, the companies will think twice before destroying the hard work of a director.
I believe in truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice.
Everyone was pretty hyped for that movie, especially after BBS. And then I kept seeing like articles online like that he was fired and that Warner Brothers didn't like his movie, and seeing that maybe that was an excuse used to get him out, which was really upsetting to me and sad.
Zach did leave the project. Obviously, Warner Brothers decided that this was the time to make a reactionary move due to the less than stellar critical reception of Batman v Superman and Man of Steel.
Because Marvel was doing so well, and they were doing well. Like, they have it off to a T, the formula and an audience. So I think they were self-conscious of getting that Marvel money more than anything, and that was led to kind of changes and people trying to do their own thing and wanted their own stamp on it, really.
They were conspiring behind the scenes to replace Zack or get him to compromise and change, and I think that's why some things happened. And as soon as the awful tragedy occurred, and Zack walked away, they were ready to jump straight in and make it their own version of what they thought was the money-making train. But obviously, history shows that it wasn't.
Virtually all of it was cut. And then Fabian Wagner, the cinematographer, comes out and says he saw theatrical cut, and he estimates somewhere between 10 to 15% of what they shot made it into theatrical.
Only 1 hour of Zack Snyder was in 121 minutes of the Joss Whedon movie. Only 1 hour. And if you think that the Snyder Cut has 240 minutes, you can realize how much movie we didn't see.
What's on your weird mind?
It might be a 4-hour cut of a movie. It might be a 6-part, episodic chapter breakup. I like the mystery of that. I don't know what it's going to be. Zack apparently wants to go back and refilm some stuff.
I just remember going and seeing the movie and thinking like, this doesn't seem right. It feels like it's a movie made by 2 different people.
Honestly, even though he gets a lot of hate, I think that Whedon did try to do his best. I think that as a director, he didn't come there and say, yeah, I will ruin this guy's movie. To me, he was just put in a very rough situation and did the best he could.
At some point, there's gonna be like really intense scenes, like Wonder Woman cutting Steppenwolf's head off. I just feel like Warner Brothers wasn't feeling that, and they just went for another route. But now with the Joker being so dark, people love that.
He changed the tone of the movie. Too much comedy. All the arc of characters like Cyborg were taken out. Cyborg was in the heart of the movie.
The difference between Justice League theatrical cut and Zack Snyder's Justice League is literally day and night. Characters were not there at all, like Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Darkseid are all going to be making appearances.
Sam Benjamin, he's in the film too, and he was never in the Justice League cut, the Justice League that Joss Whedon made. So he said he was in 25 minutes to 30 minutes of scenes.
My personal opinion, I'm most hyped for Martian Manhunter. He was my favorite leaguer. I was one of those guys that when they watched Man of Steel was like, but that guy, maybe he has the voice, the character, the attitude, so maybe.
The characters that I really want to see in Zack Snyder's version, as opposed to what we saw in theatrical, is Flash. I think Flash got completely shortchanged in the theatrical cut. There's a scene where Flash, before they're about to confront Steppenwolf for the first time, where Flash turns to Batman and says,
full transparency, I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away.
And when people asked Zack directly about that, Zack was like, what the f***? Like, that's not a scene. What are you talking about? And it's weird that they, in an effort to make Flash comedic relief, that they took away his heroism.
Dostoevsky.
I really want to see Wonder Woman being who she really is. From the old Justice League, I didn't really get that. There's some scenes that I found comfortable with. And so this one is like my Wonder Woman, the one that everybody wants to see, the strong, powerful girl.
You're an inspiration, Diana. You don't just save people. You make them see their better selves.
I mean, you're going to see a redemption. You're going to see Black Suit Superman in all his glory when Superman returns. You're going to see Ben Affleck's Batman being that grizzled, badass Batman that we saw in BVS. instead of more of that campy thing style we saw in the theatrical cut.
I knew you didn't bring me back because you like me. I don't. Not.
And then same with everyone else. Ray Fisher, he's getting his redemption as Cyborg in this one. I mean, his whole story was butchered. Zack Snyder called him the heart of the movie. So if you're a Cyborg fan, this is going to be a crazy thing for you.
It's not just a director's cut. It's not even an ultimate edition. It's quite literally a different movie. I think we've worked out that only roughly half an hour of what you saw in the theatrical cut is actually in the Snyder cut, because they reshot almost the whole film. So it is a different movie. And I love the way it's been branded as Zack Snyder's Justice League to highlight that.
It's been more than just a film. People say that the Snyder Cut movement is toxic, that we're negative towards people that say it doesn't exist, but they never kind of highlight the good stuff that the movement has done in terms of charity.
The charitable aspect of the release of Snyder Cut is honestly one of the things that caught my eye and made me most interested in telling their story.
Pretty early on, after Justice League came out, the need to give back was apparent from the Snyder Cut fandom. We were all feeling for Zack Snyder. And I think the first time that it ever happened was around the time Justice League Blu-ray was coming out. And the fans decided that instead of purchasing the Blu-ray, they're going to be donating the cost of that Blu-ray to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
During the shoot of the Justice League movie, Zack Snyder's daughter, Alden, Snyder, passed away, and it was a tragic, event. These people in the movement, they really wanted to just not support Zack's movie, but they wanted to create campaigns to help, to make donations for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention.
We always had a tradition, should we say, of that whatever we had to raise for an event, we had to match that as a donation to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention in honor of Autumn Snyder, to show our level of support.
I first realized that these guys were going above and beyond at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 when they took over bus stops and billboards around town where they blasted release the Snyder Cut. I was like, oh, these guys are really taking this way more seriously than I thought. I thought it was just a Twitter thing with the hashtag. A couple months after that Comic-Con, they took over New York Comic-Con and they bought a Times Square billboard. And that's when I was like really sitting up and paying attention to like, wow, these guys are super invested.
The billboard in Times Square was something shocking to see something like that in New York, in one of the most iconic places in the world. Was breathtaking. All the people that did it deserve a credit. All the Release the Snyder Cut fans that donated even $1, even wrote one tweet. I think they all deserve this win as their own.
And everyone that was a part of it would come up with these billboard ads or bus stop ads, and they're like, all right, let's see if we can get this money raised. And within days, weeks, it would be raised.
Along the way, companies that have joined the campaign and helped promote, Subway have come on board a few months ago, and they gave away tens of thousands of free meals to homeless people if we hit a certain amount of tweets for them. Wendy's also joined the campaigning with us.
I mean, it's almost $200,000 raised for the AFSP through either t-shirt campaigns, which, I mean, they're some of the coolest shirts I own, to be honest.
It's all going towards charity. Even the thing that was on Harley Quinn, the Harley Quinn show, the Release the Snyder Cut t-shirt, they were sold, and that goes towards charity as well. So it's been all, I've met so many people who I haven't come face to face with, but I've met online through this movement, and they're going to be my friends for the rest of my life.
After I won the contest, one of the first things I did is use my art to be part of the charity as well. So I created a campaign with my art design on the t-shirt with ink to the people, and all donation made to it will go straight to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention.
There's a belief that that the Snyder Cut people are selfish. They fight for artistic integrity, but they're additionally doing it to raise awareness for suicide prevention on behalf of Autumn Snyder, and that could not be more touching and emotional to me, and it shows how selfless these people are. And it's that aspect of the movement that I would love to celebrate, and will never stop celebrating, even when the Snyder Cut is on HBO Max.
We all say it, even if the movie never were to get announced, we would keep fighting because it's a great cause.
What I think that movement is really about is what a tragic situation, if handled with care, with love, and with passion, can lead to something greater than what could have been before. The
November 17th trending event is the one that caught the executives at Warner Brothers eye and finally made them realize that this was not going to go away, that they almost had to come to the table and negotiate.
It was a symbolic thing that we all wanted to do, to say that it's 2 years since the day we didn't get the film we were advertised.
That day we had already organized the event to get hashtag release the Snyder Cut trending because it was the anniversary of the initial release of the film.
We also had word that Zach really needed us to trend big as part of his negotiations to show that there is still a demand and that it is worth investing in.
But we didn't expect to see Ben Affleck, who said he was done with the role, to tweet hashtag release the Snyder Cut, and Gal Gadot and Ray Fisher and Jason Momoa.
Generally, the out there comes true. Let's hope it does. Release the Snyder Cut, baby!
I believe Gal Gadot was the first one who got on it, if I remember well. And it was just insane.
The woman that I love so much, Gal Gadot, finally she posted release the Snyder Cut, and I could not believe it. I could not believe it. For me, it was so surreal.
I was watching Arrow the last season, but Ben Affleck just tweeted, "What is happening?" To me, that shows how Ben wasn't very happy. Let's say with the reshoots, wasn't very happy with the whole situation.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It was Zach who called him and said, hey, look, these guys are doing this thing. Can you voice your support? And Ben said, Zach, I love you. I'll do whatever you need. And he got it done.
It showed me that Hollywood is not a soulless place. It's a place where things like friendship, things like respect really, really matter.
Like, I was the first to tweet the hashtag, but the hashtag wouldn't be anything without everybody involved, without the entire movement.
Close to 1 million tweets, I think over 1 million tweets, people hashtagging it, the single highest hashtag for a movie that DC or Warner Brothers have ever had. And that was for a movie that people are saying doesn't even exist.
And it was a ripple effect. You know, it got people's attention, and it was just an amazing day that we all still talk about, how crazy it was that we trended so big and so hard, and everyone tweeted all day. I know I did. I got suspended a couple of times from Twitter. I had to prove I was a person, and I probably annoyed quite a few of my followers that aren't Snyder Cut supporters, but it was only for a day.
We made history. The people who contributed made history that day, and I think it's a day that's not going to be forgotten when telling the story of the Snyder Cut.
Zack Snyder held a Man of Steel watch party, and I'll tell you that even in the back of the minds of the Snyder Cut faithful, you never want to believe that it's going to happen until it finally happens.
The movie ends and I see Henry pop up and I was like, oh my God, no. I was like, no way.
At different points throughout the course of the Release the Snyder Cut movement, the other members of the Justice League have all weighed in.
We're just sitting around doing nothing. And release the Snyder Cut, am I right?
Ben Affleck used the hashtag Release the Snyder Cut on November 17th. Gal Gadot used the hashtag. Henry was always kind of silent. And so to see him show up at the end of the Man of Steel watch party on Vero was, in and of itself, groundbreaking.
Because I didn't think Zach was going to do it. So when Henry came up, I was like, oh my God, it's Henry Cavill. Like, because everyone was saying he was done as Superman. And like, he's here with Zach. So I was like, we're going to get Superman back. So then I knew when Henry came out, they're going to announce the cut. Like, so just so excited.
It's instant that there's no bad blood between these two. Like, they have a chemistry from making two films together, a Man of Steel, BVS, that is just palpable. In addition to Henry, it was fans. They start to join the Vero Zoom stream, and it cemented how much this movement and how much Zach is aware of his fan base and how everything he's kind of doing to move this forward is for the fans who he recognizes have been the ones on the front line of these battles.
And I'm like, all right, who's going to ask the question? Like, it has to come up. Who's going to ask it?
And the final one, of course, was, when will you release the Snyder Cut?
I have a question.
Yeah.
That is the mother of all our questions as a fandom.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's serious.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God.
I'm scared.
I'm scared of it too.
Yeah,
Yes.
me too.
When will you release the Snyder Cut?
There it is.
Zach says, oh, it's not up to me. If it was up to me, it would be already out. So I had this like hit in my stomach. I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm ready for the letdown. And then he was like, oh, well, I do have something. And Henry's like, oh, I reckon you should show it. And the screen flipped.
He said it, he showed the poster, and everyone just went nuts.
Booyah.
Finally, after 3 years of fighting, we got the Snyder Cut's gonna get released, and a lot of people did not believe us. A lot of people actually just, were very negative about it and like, oh, it's a pipe dream. Like, it's never gonna happen.
And then honestly, I just let out the loudest scream to just like a cathartic release of, I can't believe this is an actual thing.
And I started crying. Like, I posted a picture on Twitter where I was crying. I was like, oh my God.
It was jubilation. It was happiness. It was a feeling of almost vindication. It was a feeling of redemption. Happiness for Zack Snyder, happiness for his entire Justice League crew, but also happy for the fans who put hours and hours asking for it, especially the ones who did it respectfully and all the campaign. Especially, I want to highlight the charity, which without that, I think that was a true north for this campaign, raising close to $200,000 for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
I always thought that it would come out eventually, like whether it be next year or like a Donner cut in like 20 years. I always thought it would come out. I never had that doubt, but it's very surreal. I still feel like everyone's playing this really elaborate prank on me. Everyone's in on it but me. That's how I feel.
I teared up, man. I just cried for like 10 minutes because this means a lot to me, because I know how hard it's been for Snyder himself and his family and what he's been through.
Today, we finally proved that with like a group of people that have passion for something, when we get together and you build such a strong fandom, you can make things happen. You can be heard. And so it's a big day for that, for celebrating a victory. And I'm super excited.
Listen, every good story needs an ending, and this is the best possible ending for Zack Snyder.
It's real. It's coming. So get ready. It's going to be amazing. And we're still going to keep fighting for the AFSP.
My name is Massimiliano Ione, and I've been on this movement from the very start.
So I started in this movement in March of 2018 is when I first heard about it.
I cosplay Wonder Woman, and I have always supported Zack since I started this whole cosplay.
Many people loved my review of Batman v Superman, because I was one of the few who love it.
My name is Sean O'Connell. I am the managing director of Cinema Blend, and I've been tracking the progress of the Snyder Cut movement for about a year and a half now.
I'm Najid, and I'm from India. I've created this website with the help of my friends called SnyderCut.com.
My name is Victor Koo. I'm known as Mighty Pegasus Art. Recently, there was a Zack Snyder Justice League fan art contest that I won with my art.
My name is Sean Maher, and I was the first person to tweet #ReleaseTheSnyderCut.
I was one of the first journalists who were actively reporting on the Snyder Cut being a thing, being something that's real and not like a myth.
My role in the Release the Snyder Cut community is generally being somebody that's taken part in most of the events, and in particular running the GoFundMe accounts.
Glad I didn't miss this.
How does it feel to be the most talked about director? Look who we have here, Mr. Zack Snyder.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How does it feel to be the most talked about director in Hollywood?
I don't know. I don't know if that's 100% true, but it's well, it's fun to be busy. I guess that's the important thing. We have. I'm working on finishing Army, and now pretty much full time on Justice League. So yeah.
Army of the Dead is for Netflix, right?
Yeah, Army of the Dead's for Netflix, and it's just a really fun and cool project that I got to do with those guys, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's something that everyone's gonna think is really crazy, but really fun. So I'm excited for people to see it.
I can't wait. So the Snyder Cut is a bold move, Zach. You're breaking all the rules, including running time. So there's Titanic, 195 minutes, Gone
Right.
with the Wind, 221 minutes, but I hear your Justice League is even longer.
Yeah, well, I can't be. No one's going to accuse me of making short movies. That's a fact. I think my track record with, especially with my director's cuts is pretty crazy. I don't know why that is. Because it came from commercials, right? So it was always like, hey, 30 seconds. Maybe it's because of that. I was like,
yeah, you were like, I can't wait to break free of the 30 seconds.
So, yeah, so, and I have sort of famously advertised the runtime at 2 hours and 14 minutes, or no, 214 minutes, 2 hours and 14 minutes. Well, there it is, 214 minutes.
Everyone's like, that's pretty normal length.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you're crazy. No, it's actually a little bit more than that. But I think now it's certainly when it's now in its current state, it's going to end up being longer than that yet. So exciting to bring all this new material to the fans. They get to see all these crazy and awesome new sequences, and I think that's going to be really exciting for everyone.
So can you reveal like the ballpark of how long it's going to be, or is that still a closely guarded secret?
It's a slightly closely guarded secret, yeah. I just want, the thing is, like, I really want to, when I sort of talk about that in the upcoming time, because I'm still working on it, so I don't want to say, because it's still.
Yeah, you don't want people to be like, where's the minutes you promised me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, we're like holding you accountable.
Yeah, 2 minutes short. Where are they?
Yeah, we want to see what was in those 2 minutes you cut out.
Yeah, we need that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it's a lot of it's post, and you're doing all of this from home. I had a wonderful time in 2017. I got to visit you and your team on the Warner Brothers lot. You had this huge suite of offices, a giant editing bay. But now you got to do this movie from home. What's it like with you and your team in quarantine?
It's kind of, look, it's challenging, but I'll be honest about our working situation in that it is pretty efficient. We've gotten to this point where we can really sort of I have editorial upstairs, and then downstairs we have like a screening room so we can watch the dailies or watch the visual effects as they come in, and then Dodie and I have like this amazing sort of mirrored editing system, so I can see.
And Dodie's your editor.
Yeah, so I can see exactly what she's doing, and it's really an amazing technological setup. So it's allowed us. The problem is you can't leave it, right? You don't. It's
you'd be like 2 a.m. You'll be like, I have an idea.
It's literally in the house. It's like it's crack of dawn till the wee hours, and we're just you never. I mean, unless the kids come and drag me out, I'm pretty much. It's good. It's fun though. I really enjoy it.
Have you had to call tech support?
Oh God, yeah, all the time.
That's great. That must be really crazy.
Those are our breaks. So the breaks we get is when we're like, oh, the machines don't work. Now we can go outside.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
jump on
great.
trampoline or work out or something.
Hey, this was just unplugged. Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
I thought that was the fix to all technological problems. You just unplug it.
Yeah. That's how you fix yourself for a few minutes. So, speaking of secretive, you've only shown your cut to a handful of people and it's already become legend. That's a lot of pressure. So what do you feel that the Snyder Cut needs to deliver?
Look, the great thing about this whole process is it's sort of been an amazing, it's been a way to kind of allow filmmakers and storytellers, it's this kind of affirmation of this concept that, storytellers matter, their stories matter. And I think really the big pressure on me is just for it to be exactly true to itself, and I know that sounds like obvious, but, we as storytellers and as filmmakers, a lot of time, there's a lot of different powers that push and move and change, what you're doing as you're doing it. But I think with this process and this project, it really is an amazing opportunity just to, and what I think the fans want is just a very pure and exact version of the movie, and that's what I'm doing my best to accomplish.
That sounds fantastic. So also the fans, what they want to know, there's been a lot of talk about continuity, cinematic universes, right? That just dominates comic book movie discussion overall these days. And some fans have been wondering how, or even if, your version of Justice League relates to the rest of the DCEU. Care to clarify?
No, it's a good question in that, we shot the movie in 2016,
things happen fast in Hollywood.
It'll be 5 years old when it comes out. For me, I've been living with it for that long. So, I think that and frankly, the DC, cinematic universe has gone on its branched like a tree and blossomed and grown and amazing in great ways. I'm a producer on Wonder Woman 84, and I'm super excited about what Patty's done with that movie, and it's amazing, and I love that, I love that character, and I love Gal. It's very close to me, and so that's great, that's amazing, I think, to me. And you look at what Matt's doing with Batman, and you have this, and by the way, I think I'm super excited about that, by the way. I think
it'll be very interesting.
I think he's an amazing filmmaker, and I think this is and Robert's cool, and I just think it's cool. Anyway,
I'm sure they appreciate that.
Well, it's just that I'm a fan, so I'm excited. But for me, in the where the movie falls is it's sort of, I believe that it really starts to represent its own path. It doesn't really, it's kind of separate now from what I would say the DC universe, cinematic universe in continuity. I think it is it's divergent in that way, and I think that that's a good thing. I think that the power of DC and one of its cool strengths is the sort of multiverse concept where, and also where they kind of put filmmakers first and say, you know what, guys, we want to hear your voice, your individual voices. Take these characters and do a run and sort of show us what, you would do in sort of the great tradition of comic book writing and runs that have been done with all these amazing characters. So I think that is a cool and amazing sort of canvas. And so for me, I think Justice League, I've heard someone say so you're entering the Snyderverse now when you watch and frankly, this notion that, what you'll see in Justice League and Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel, there's continuity across those three movies. That's really, I think, very, because I made them, I think that that's what that's my main focus, is to satisfy that narrative structure,
to continue that story that so many people fall in love with. Well, I really we were talking about this beforehand, in the run up to this, and I loved your explanation that it is like those great runs when you have these really amazing artists with visions take over a comic book character. and just do like this really high art version of what they would do with that character if they were telling a story with them.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I feel about it. I just think that it's like these characters will live long past what we do, and they're going to go on other adventures into, like, you know, who knows where, space and time, and who knows. Thank God.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, it's really, I'm doing what I can at this time with these amazing actors and characters and situations in this scenario. And I just think that I'm blessed to have, like, you know, these actors sort of fill these shoes in this way that I think people really care about, and is really
Well, you
exciting.
picked them too. You did a very nice job. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But speaking of characters, I really like Evil Superman. You like Evil Superman. A lot of people, just like Batman, don't trust the guy. Why do you think the darker side of the Man of Steel is so appealing to people? And will we see more of that in the Snyder Cut?
Well, do I love the evil Superman? I'm not 100% sure if that's true. Other than that, I will say I love the idea of Superman going on a journey with his character, I love the idea of Superman having to, like, reconcile his morality, reconcile his place on Earth, reconcile, like, his love affair with Lois, and how that affects, you know, the way he relates to humanity, and all those things, as we all do with the normal relationships we all have in our daily lives. So I think that when you see Superman grapple with those things, he becomes a lot more relatable and a lot more, you know, you can
Superman,
see
that's dark.
What's that?
For Superman, that's dark.
Well, yeah, and I think that that's what I'm saying. So, like, when I see Superman, like, having to figure out, like, what to do, I now can go, like, wow, if I was Superman, I could see, you know, because Superman is such an abstract character in his powers and, like, what he's able to do, that anytime you can kind of bring him, you know, back down to earth, he becomes a lot more relatable, and then and I think, and for that reason, more interesting. But I do, like, have a huge respect for his, like, moral code and his, like,
oh, sure, but
I think his ultimate place as the sort of as the top of the pyramid of the DC superhero world.
Oh, totally.
I think you have to, like, in the end, he has to achieve that pinnacle.
So you feel you're taking him to that pinnacle with your story?
I always felt like that was where
yeah.
he was. Like,
Because I think that you show him in a more, I think you show him in his most powerful. You know, like in some of your shots, some of my favorite shots that you've done, you know, like the heat vision laser eyes that sometimes he just has, you know, and some of the confrontations in Batman v Superman. And also, you know, the way he is just so powerful from what we've seen, you know, the glimmers we've only just seen in Justice League. And I think also, obviously, the Nightmare stuff. So I think that that stuff's really compelling.
Yeah, and frankly, really fun, because, you know, we kind of have these, like,
This is going to be a really crazy discussion. It's going to be a multiverse level discussion. Because that's exactly what Warner Brothers is doing. And we love to see them winning so much, by the way. First DC Fandome, now getting to the multiverse before the MCU. I mean, they have to actually make these things work. But right now in the anticipation stage, it's delightful. They certainly have raised the bar on Kevin Feige getting to multiple versions of the same character first, but only publicity-wise, only in the headlines, only in terms of an announcement, because of course Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness comes out first. And you know what? Batman v Superman didn't stop Kevin Feige from doing Civil War. In fact, it's why he did Civil War, as the Russo brothers revealed. They had pitched Civil War to Kevin Feige. He said, I don't think so. Saw the Batman v Superman announcement and said, let's do it. And of course, the rest is history. So even though Warner Brothers has beaten Kevin Feige to the punch again, in terms of publicity, he could still do his multiple Spider-Men in the Multiverse of Madness movie, which again hits theaters first. So will history repeat itself? Although this time we're all wise to Kevin Feige's tricks, but it's not stopping him. Of course, as we've also already discussed, when does Namor make his debut? The same year as Aquaman 2, if Aquaman 2 keeps its release date. Very competitive, very competitive. All right, so I'm sorry this video is a day late. As I tweeted out yesterday, I had a family obligation, but don't worry, I still got the tea for you, and it's still piping hot. So I'm going to give you the juicy details up front, the ones that you've been waiting for, and then I'll do more of a deep dive. I'm going to tell you, just reiterate the story, tell you what I've heard from my sources, and then we'll analyze it. I promised you a nice long video. All right, so yes, Batfleck returns, like Michael Keaton, whose deal seems to be done, by the way, with the way the trades are talking. And I've heard, as I've told you in one of the live streams, that if Keaton is back, Michelle Pfeiffer will also likely return for a cameo in this upcoming Flash film. Oh, exciting! So Batfleck and Michael Keaton doesn't have a snazzy Batman name. So Batfleck and Michael Keaton, if you want to have some suggestions for what we could call them down below, let's hear them. So they're both in the upcoming The Flash movie, which is clearly Flashpoint inspired. Sorry, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Didn't sign his contract fast enough. He didn't lock that in. There was, he was hinting that he was in those discussions around the holidays. But then Warner Brothers got an idea. Vanity Fair, which broke the news. Interestingly, not a scoop. It was an announcement through Vanity Fair because Andy Muschietti, the director of the Flash movie, gave quotes. When you get a scoop, you don't get extensive quotes from the director about the project. And Muschietti had some interesting quotes about Ben Affleck's masculinity and his virility as a filmmaker. And the article clarified, by the way, that Ben Affleck will have a cameo in the Flash movie while Michael Keaton's role is substantial, which coincides with what I'm hearing. So this is what I'm hearing. Ben Affleck agreed to do this cameo as a goodbye. Don't worry, there's a backdoor, a potential backdoor. But the reason Ben Affleck likes it, why he was sold on it, is that it's a way for him to say goodbye to the DCEU, have an official goodbye, and also to give the fans something nice on his way out. In the movie, apparently Flash will end up erasing. We'll be like, no, don't do it. Run the other way. Erase this other stuff. We're like, Flash, we actually have a checklist of what we'd like you to erase from the DCEU, and Batfleck ain't on it. But the way the script is now, Flash will erase Ben Affleck's Batman from the DCEU. And Muschietti, in his quotes in Vanity Fair, talks about how they both lost their mothers. Ben Affleck, Batfleck, of course, lost both his parents. But when it comes to Barry, they have the mom in common, to violent crimes. So Batfleck will likely make a knowing sacrifice in the film. Get out the feels, right? Very brave of them, by the way, to open up the door to more Martha jokes. Like every time, what undoes Batman? Martha. You think that all of his, I even liked the Martha scene in the first movie because for as long as I've been reading Batman and Superman comics, I never realized that their mothers had the same name. So I was surprised as Batman was. But I think at this point, the joke didn't go over well. I think everybody has to acknowledge that. And so, I think that, it's crazy that, again, his mom would undo Batman yet again. Keaton, though, I'm hearing, will survive and be brought back into the DCEU, as we've been discussing, as an older Nick Fury type, which the trades have reported. But again, as I already reported to you, the plan is to have him mentor Batgirl, and she would be the Batman, the Batman figure in the DCEU Trinity. I know. To my source, I was like, not Pattinson? Isn't he going to be the Batman? But don't worry, we're going to discuss more women in the DCEU Trinity in just a moment. But let me clarify on Robert Pattinson. So what I heard is that Robert Pattinson, a planned trilogy, is its own thing, like Joker, to give Matt Reeves total creative freedom. And we'll talk about the multiverse also in just a moment. But I told you I'm giving you the basics up front. As for that possible backdoor for Batfleck, which I'm sure you're most interested in, I've told you from the very first day that the Snyder Cut was greenlit that if successful enough, the Snyderverse could live on through HBO Max. It would be specific to HBO Max. It would be the feather in HBO Max's cap, quite frankly. And I am now hearing that HBO Max is indeed interested specifically in a Batfleck streaming show, which would take place before the Flash movie erased him. So it would be in that pocket universe. But, and this is a very big but, Ben Affleck would have to agree to do that show. And right now, he's not ready to have that conversation. So I suggest you all watch the heck out of the Snyder Cut and be sure to see the Flash movie multiple times, all while tweeting how great Batfleck is, just to keep that pressure on. But you do, again, I have to reiterate this, tweeting isn't enough. You do have to subscribe, you don't pirate, you do have to watch, and you do have to see the movie multiple times in theaters. Because while we clearly can see that the Snyder Cut fandom is very active and loud on social media, very social media savvy, we still don't know how big it actually is in terms of dollars. What number of subscriptions can it get? What are the ticket sales from the Snyderverse? That's a really important question. That's the other shoe to drop. So tweeting's great, but it ain't the whole package. You got to do both. So basically, when it comes to the multiverse, it's a storytelling device in the MCU, but in the DCEU, it's a way to explain the creative freedom that Warner Brothers is giving its DC filmmakers. They're allowed to go off and do whatever they want because the movies are in separate universes. However, the multiverse angle allows the DCEU to still say they're connected, which has been so popular for the MCU. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them. I'm very nervous about mainstream moviegoers. I think that there are those of us who are huge fans and really immersed in this culture who are going to totally get this. And in fact, maybe even love it because it allows, well, I'm going to talk to you in a moment right now about a fractured DC audience, which I think it makes everybody happy who's in that audience, but how big is that audience? I mean, the way the MCU is set up, if you want to follow that story, you have to watch every single movie and now every single Disney Plus show I wonder if they'll make, I think the Disney Plus shows are going to be, if you don't watch them, you're not going to know totally what's